had a lot of people react to the last video I did explaining alcoholism and your thinking. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that, okay, so you understand. So you heard what I said about alcoholism, right? It's a mental illness. It's a mental health issue, right? Not willpower and control. Not even about the booze or the drugs, okay? So you got a mental health issue. Now that you know that, this should explain a lot to you. This is very helpful to know, because now you understand that the only thing stopping you from sobriety is your own thinking. It's not your husband, it's not your friends, it's not your job, it's not your circumstances, it's this, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. It's easier to see with something else, okay? So let's say, for me, myself, I'm a sugar fiend. I love sweets. And I've gone through these periods before where I tell myself, sugar is just poison. Why am I eating so much sugar? I'm going to stop eating sugar. So tomorrow I'm going to not eat any sugar at all. I'm going to try to do that just one day and see how I do. Let's just see if I can do it for one day. So I start off in the morning and it's okay, right? I have some coffee, I get some toast, and everything's all right. And then I start thinking about, well, today's Saturday. And whenever you diet, you can have a cheat day. So maybe Saturday is a good day to do a cheat day. Maybe tonight I'm going to have some ice cream before I go to bed. I'm just going to have one scoop of ice cream and that's it. Okay, good. I'm good about that. All right, I'm good. Go on with my day. Then I start thinking, well, instead of having ice cream like late at night, right before you go to bed, is really bad for you. So maybe I should have it at lunch. I'll just have instead of ice cream, I'll just have a piece of pie, right? Because Mary Sue next door made that pie, and I'll just have a piece of pie. In fact, maybe I'll just have a half. A couple bites, I'll be good. No ice cream tonight. Oh, if I go ahead and have this candy bar right now, I'm in the store. I love Snickers. I'm so hungry. I don't have anything to eat. I'll have it now instead of tonight. It's better than eating it before bed, right? I'll have all day to work off the calories. I'll just have half. I'll just eat half. I'll get one of those Snickers in 2 parts. I'll eat just one of those. So I buy one of those and I eat one of those. And then I'm driving and I get the other half. Well, you know what? I might as well just eat the other half. It's still like it's before noon. And I got all day. I'll get on the stair climber when I'll do that this afternoon after they pick up the kids from school. I'll jump on the treadmill and I'll work off this extra piece. So it really won't even count. So now I've eaten the whole thing. Now the guilt and remorse sets in. You know what? I'm just going to start again tomorrow. Why don't I just try tomorrow? I've already eaten the Snickers bar. Mary Sue, whoever brought over the pie. I don't want to offend her by not having any pie, so I'm going to have some pie. And we always have ice cream as a family, so I'm going to start tomorrow. Does that sound familiar? That's rationalization. That's happening in your head. Nobody is out there. It's not Mary Ellen's fault for bringing the pie. It's not your kid's fault. It's not the grocery store for putting the Snickers bar up front. It's your thinking. Can rationalize and justify anything. That is what happens with alcoholics, okay? So if the sooner you realize that your own thinking is what's trying to trick you up, right? Your own thinking is what's going to be your demise, then you can start not trusting your thinking. You cannot trust everything you think because you have an alcoholic mind. You have an abnormal mind and body, okay? So your abnormal mind is going to tell you, you know what? I'm just going to have wine. I'm not even going to drink any hard alcohol, right? And then I won't have any until 5. And then I'll have 1 glass because I don't want a seizure and I don't want to fall out. I know, I've done it. So this thinking is crazy. So that's why it's important when people say, go to meetings, go to meetings. When you go to meetings, it interrupts that thinking. It interrupts the thinking. Your thinking is trying to kill you. Alcoholism kills people every day. Don't think it doesn't. It still kills more people than heroin. even though there's an opioid crisis, right? Because alcohol is legal. So people are dying every day of alcoholism. Don't fool yourself. And those people didn't think they were going to die. They thought they had a chance. They could still make it back, right? So you want to quit fooling around with this. This is like Freddy Krueger, murder thinking. And it's trying to kill you, right? And it'll take anybody else down with you that it can. Your family, your friends, your kids, your husband, your parents. It is a killer, okay? It destroys everything good in life. So why would you trust that? Why would you try to set up your own program of recovery? Why would you think, right, that your thinking that's trying to kill you can think you out of this problem? It can't. That's why they designed this simple program of recovery out of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And they suggest you have a sponsor or a group do it with you, because you're going to rationalize and justify everything. It's not going to work. Now that should make more sense to you. Why this is constant? Why do I keep drinking? Why do I keep drinking? I said I wasn't going to drink. Why do I keep drinking? Okay? Your thinking is bad. You are the problem. It's no one else. Right? There are people that get sober in horrific circumstances, and there's people that drink themselves to death that are living large in life, right? Living the good life. Got everything they want. So it's got nothing to do with anything but this, okay? So you need help with that. It is really, the key is that something else has to do the thinking, not you. And that's where a higher power comes in. Some people make the group the higher power, AA their higher power, right? They trust something other than their own thinking. The 12 steps, that will shift your thinking. You can start seeing straight again. Right? You start seeing a little bit differently. So that's why it's so hard to stay sober. You're fighting yourself. You think it's everybody else. You might even think it's trauma and it's all this other stuff. It's not all that other stuff. There's people that have zero trauma that are drinking themselves to death and using themselves to death. And there's people that have trauma that don't drink at all. So it's not that either. You just happen to have trauma and you're an alcoholic. You have alcoholism. So the more you know about the disease, the better it is, because then you can go, wait a minute, what am I thinking? Like that's alcoholism, right? When you start bargaining with yourself and rationalizing and justifying, and you can't get 24 hours because your mind keeps fucking with you, don't listen to your head. Now, how do you do that? That's easier said than done. When I first got sober, I went to 3 meetings a day. And right now on Zoom, that's very easy to do. I still go to 2 meetings a day. I go to one in the morning at 7 a.m. and I go to one at 5:30. Now it's pretty obvious that the one at 7 a.m. is just because when I wake up crazy. My head's running. It's alcoholism just constantly. It's like every night when I go to bed, it all falls out. I got to put it back in the morning, right? So I get up and I go to a meeting in the morning to get started. Then I go to a meeting after work, like at 5 o'clock, right? But you can go to a noon. So all you have to do is this, right? If you wake up sober today, go to a meeting right away, and then pick another meeting, maybe at noon. You only have to stay sober between 7 a.m. and noon. Figure out what you got to do. I got to go to work. This is what I got to do at work. I'm going to eat a hard-boiled egg and a cup of coffee. I'm going to get this done at work, this done at work. I'm going to go to a noon meeting. Then afternoon, I'm going to go to 5:30, right? Because when I get off work, I need to have a drink. So at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go to a meeting. So what do I got to do between 12 and 5? I got to go get this done at work. I got to do this done. I got to do this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Great. Here I am. I'm at a meeting. Interrupts the thinking. Puts you back on track, right? Left alone in your own head for too long, you'll justify a reason to drink. Okay? So you meeting makers make it. Go to meetings. You have to, because your thinking will take over, and pretty soon you're well, you're fine, you can handle a glass of wine with dinner, and then you're fucked. Okay? And if you have to go to another meeting, then you only have to go to 5 o'clock, right? You're done at 6. You just got to make it to bed. If you can't make it to bed, get to a 9 o'clock meeting. right? Cook dinner, do the dishes, take a shower, whatever you lay out your clothes for tomorrow, get to bed. And do that again the next day. And slowly but surely, as you go to meetings and you work the steps, you'll get 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But you have to interrupt the thinking. Eventually, your thinking is going to start to shift when you do the steps. That's why you got to do the steps. If you don't do the steps, your thinking doesn't change. Nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I hope that helps somebody. I love you to death. Bye.